college classic. Did you say college classic campuses? Well, sure you did. Good morning. We're in the Book of Mormon. Lord God Almighty, thank you for the Book of Mormon as we read and we understand better these guys who ride around on the bike and the people that they go into ward with, to service with. Hallelujah. Amen. We're in Alma 57. Will you journey with me through the Book of Mormon? God bless you. And now it came to pass that I received an epistle from Ammoron, the king, stating that if I would deliver up those prisoners of war whom we had taken, that he would deliver up the city of TcYbarra unto us. Now, we just witnessed a bunch of youngsters going to battle, and not one lost his life, and their mothers being brought into this in a matter of they raised them well. The fathers raised them well. Their mothers raised them well. They were soldiers. They were warriors. It reminds me of a guy by the name of Danny who got into a fight with the sheriff of well, he was a sheriff deputy at the time. He became a sheriff later, and the guy Danny was a Golden Gloves boxer, and he won, beat some guy in a boxing match, and the sheriff deputy was betting on it, and and he lost, and it made him so mad. He lost so much money that he went from one county to the other in search of the guy who beat him, so that he could harass him. And they pulled him over and they wanted to give him a ticket, and they were harassing him, and then he called the man's mother a very nasty name. And he was a Golden Gloves boxer. He knocked his teeth out on the side, over here on the left side. Knocked them out. Sort of like mine. I'm dealing with pretty much the same thing. But anyhow, then they beat the heck out of him and his friends. And then the attorney took the case, and he said, we have a settlement for you for... and he says, I don't want it. And he went into the military and became a staff sergeant. But it's really strange that how mothers, when they raise their children the way they raise them to be fighters, when they raise them to be fighters, they become good fighters. And there's a reason for that. They raise them that way because there's a fine line between white and brown, black and white, black and brown, or something. In Long Beach, I remember the Samoans weren't getting along with the Latins. And they were fighting back in the 90s. It was really bad. You had to be very careful. But somebody does that. Somebody starts that. West Coast versus East Coast, all that. So let's finish. And now it came to pass that I received an epistle from Ammoron the king, stating that if I would deliver up those prisoners of war whom he had taken, that he would deliver up the city of TcYbarra unto us. But I sent an epistle unto the king, that we were sure our forces were sufficient to take the city of TcYbarra by our force, and by delivering up the prisoners for that city we should suppose ourselves unwise, and that we would only deliver up our prisoners on exchange. God bless you. Good morning. And Ammoron refused mine epistle, for he would not exchange prisoners. Therefore we began to make preparations to go against the city of TcYbarra. But the people of TcYbarra did leave the city and fled to their other cities, which they had possession of, to fortify them, and thus the city of TcYbarra fell into our hands. YouTube. YouTube. But the people of TcYbarra did have the city and fled to their other cities, which they had possession of, to fortify them, and thus the city of TcYbarra fell into our hands. Now, if anybody's interested, you can go to the Park Street Mormon Ward and enjoy yourself there. But right now we are College Campus Classic Hits. I'm TcYbarra. Let's finish. And it came to pass that in the commencement of the 29th year, we received a supply of provisions, and also an addition to our army from the land of Zarahemla, and from the land round about, to the number of 6,000 men, besides 60 of the sons of the Ammonites, who had come to join their brethren, my little band of 2,000. And now behold, we were strong, yea, and we had also a plenty of provisions brought unto us. Okay, so these 2,000, they're young. I believe they're in their teens. This is what I would suppose they being in their teens. But hey, what do you know? What do I know? They have to be anywhere between 14 to 15, 16 to 19 to 21. They have to be that age because of they're shocked by their ability to fight. So the land of Zarahemla, and from the land round about, to the number of 6,000 men, besides 60 of the sons of the Ammonites, who had come to join their brethren, my little band of 2,000. And now behold, we were strong, yea, and we had also a plenty of provisions brought unto us. So they're they're equipped to fight. You know, that's not like these Mormons we see riding the bikes, right? You ride by, Mormons! Right? It's not like that, right? They say, oh, God bless you, God bless you. Oh. Those Mormons, they jump off the bike. What'd you say? Come here, come back here! How dare you? Especially these guys. Something stirred them up to anger. You walk into the store, and the doggone Mormons. What'd you say? Plam! Whoa, that Mormon just socked that guy in the mouth and knocked him out. You'd be like, what? What? You see the Mormons driving through the city now. Hi! Hi! Did I do something wrong? No, I'm waiting for the light to change. Okay. Hey, you never know. I mean, people get tired of being bullied, man. Okay, so, and it came to pass that it was our desire to wage a little battle, just a little war. I mean, like a little gang fight or something like that in the riverbed, right? No, that's not what they want. They're drawing blood, man. It's not breaking bottles or a little, oh, I got a pocket knife. No, they got swords, machetes. When they're done, you find an arm, a hand, a foot, a toe, a finger, right? A head, a shoulder, a thigh. I'll take a thigh and a drumstick. But no, that's what you find, right? And you didn't just find it like oh, I found this arm on the floor right here. You find some very expensive metal around it, right? Chain link metal all around the arm. You say, how in the heck did he chop through that? I mean, that's really something. I mean, these guys, I mean, they're not like you and me, right? I mean, you get a quarterback, right? And you go out there and you throw the football for the first time. It only goes about 25 yards at the most, right? You see these guys throwing for 80 yards. You see, oh, he's never going to catch that. Man, he just threw the ball 80 yards. Come on, man. Can you do that? Right? And I'm not only did he throw it 80 yards, but he threw it 80 yards at the guy. I can't throw the ball 80 yards, let alone 25 yards, to even get it at you. I know a guy named Steve Mikowski who was really good at that. I mean, this guy should have been a quarterback. But no. Okay. And it came to pass that it was our desire to wage a little war, a battle, right, with the army which was placed to protect the city Comini. Comini. And now behold, I will show unto you that we soon accomplished our desire, yea, with our strong force, or with a part of our strong force, we did surround by night the city Comini. A little before they were to receive a supply of provisions. And it came to pass that we did camp round about the city for many nights, but we did sleep upon our swords and keep guards excuse me, that the Lamanites could not come upon us by night and slay us, which they attempted many times, but as many times as they attempted, this their blood was spilled. At length their provisions, did arrive, and they were about to enter the city by night, and were, instead of being Lamanites, were Nephites, and therefore we did take them and their provision. Okay, so, and notwithstanding the Lamanites being cut off from their support after this manner, they were still determined to maintain the city, and therefore it became expedient that we should take those provisions and send them to Judea, and our prisoners to the land of Zarahemla. And it came to pass that not many days had passed away. Good morning. Before the Lamanites began to lose all hopes of succor, and therefore they yielded up the city unto our hands, and thus we had accomplished our designs in obtaining the city Comini. But it came to pass that our prisoners were so numerous that, notwithstanding the enormity of our numbers, we were obliged to employ all our force to keep them or to put them to death. For behold, it's funny because during the war, the Germans, when they went into Berlin, it was, they all pretty much started giving up, because Berlin was the stronghold, the strong fort. You didn't go into Berlin, that's where Hitler was, and nobody, if you got into Berlin, that means you were attacking from all around. So you had Australia, you had Britain, you had America, you had Scotland and Russia. Everybody was attacking at the same time. Germany. So it's funny because when you think about it now, it's Antichrist. They had to fight the devil. And now behold, I will show unto you that soon accomplish our desire, yea, with our strong horse, and with a part of our strong horse we did surround by night the city Comini, a little before they were to receive a supply of provisions. For behold, they would break out in great numbers, and but it came to pass that our prisoners were so numerous that, notwithstanding the enormity of our numbers, we were obliged to employ all our force to keep them or to put them to death. For behold, they would break out in great numbers, and would fight with stones and with clubs, or whatsoever thing they could get into their hands, and so much that we did slay upwards up to 2,000 of them after they had surrendered themselves prisoners of war. And that's what a lot of the Germans were doing when we were bringing them here to America. They were fighting and taking Indians for their wives and their husbands, but even taking on their last names. And therefore it became expedient for us that we should put an end to their lives, or guard them, sword in hand, down to the land of Zarahemla. And also our provisions were not any more than sufficient for our own people, notwithstanding that which we had taken from the Lamanites. And now, in those critical circumstances, it became a very serious matter to determine concerning these prisoners of war. Excuse me. Nevertheless, we did resolve to send them down to the land of Zarahemla. Therefore, we selected a part of our men and gave them charge over our prisoners to go down to the land of Zarahemla. But it came to pass that on the morrow they did return, and now behold, we did not inquire of them concerning the prisoners, for behold, the Lamanites were upon us, and they returned in season to save us from falling into their hands. For behold, Amaron had sent to their support a new supply of provisions, and also a numerous army of men. Whew. Excuse me. And it came to pass that those men whom we sent with the prisoners did arrive in season to check them, as they were about to overpower us. But behold, my little hand of 2,060 fought most desperately, yea, they were firm before the Lamanites, and did administer death unto all those who opposed them. And as the remainder of our army were about to give way before the Lamanites, behold, those 2,060 were firm and undaunted. Yea, undaunted. And they did obey and observe to perform every word of command with exactness. Excuse me. Yea, and even according unto their faith it was done unto them. And I did remember the words which they said unto me, that their mothers had taught them. Again, the mothers had taught them. Mothers were standing up, and I believe it was against the Lamanites. They were angry with them. I believe they were practicing secret cords and bonds and rapes and stealing. That's what I believe they were practicing. That's why the women got involved. So they were probably raping the women, and it had to stop. In those days, a lot of rapes occurred. Lots of them. They said, "Oh, she provoked it." She what? She provoked it. My mother provoked you raping her? I don't think so. She was meditating. I caught her. I went by. I could see her nakedness. You're not supposed to look upon nakedness. Well, I've seen it, so you're not supposed to look upon it. That's a woman's labor, it's her work. She's covering her family. So you see her naked instead of her family. She's laboring. It's in the Bible. No, that's not our religion. Oh, I see. So because it's not your religion, you have the right to rape my mom. And now, behold, it was these, my sons, and those men, who had been selected to convey the prisoners, to whom we owe this great victory, for it was they who did beat the Lamanites. Therefore they were driven back into the city of Manti. And we returned to our city Communi, and were not all destroyed by the sword. Nevertheless we had suffered great loss. And it came to pass that after the Lamanites had fled, I immediately gave orders that my men who had been wounded would be taken from among the dead, and caused that their wounds should be dressed. And it came to pass that there were 200 out of my 2,060 who had fainted because of the loss of blood. And nevertheless, according to the goodness of God, and to our great astonishment, and also the foes of our whole army, there was not one soul of them who did perish. Yea, and neither was there one soul among them who had not received many wounds. And now their preservation was astonishing to our whole army. Yea, that they should be spared while there was 1,000 of our brethren who were slain. And we do justly ascribe to the miraculous power of God because of their exceeding faith and that which they had been taught to believe that there was a just God, and whosoever did not doubt that they should be preserved by his marvelous power. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you. Now this was the faith of these of whom I have spoken. They were young, and their minds are firm, and they do not put their trust in God continually. And now it came to pass that after we had thus taken care of our wounded men, and had buried our dead, and also the dead of the Lamanites, who were many, behold, we did inquire of guide our Jid concerning the prisoners whom they had started to go down to the land of Zarahemla with. Excuse me. And now Jid was the chief captain over the band, who was appointed to guard them down to the land. And now these are the words which Jid said unto me, behold, we did start to go down into the land of Zarahemla with our prisoners, and it came to pass that we did meet the spies of our armies who had been sent out to watch the camp of the Lamanites, and they cried unto us, saying, behold, the armies of the Lamanites are marching towards the city of Cumini, and behold, they will fall upon them, yea, and will destroy our people. And it came to pass that our prisoners did hear their cries, which caused him to take courage, and they did rise up, in rebellion against us. And it came to pass, because of their rebellion, we did cause that our swords should come upon them. And it came to pass that they did in a body run upon our swords, in which the greater number of them were slain, and the remainder of them broke through and fled from us. And behold, when they had fled, and we could not overtake them, we took our march with speed towards the city of Cumini, and behold, we did arrive in time that we might assist our brethren in preserving the city. And behold, we are again delivered out of the hands of our enemies, and blessed is the name of our God, for behold, it is he that has delivered us, yea, that has done this great thing for us. And now it came to pass that when I, Helaman, had heard these words of Jid, I was filled with exceedingly joy, because of the goodness of God in preserving us, that we might not all perish, yea, and I trust that the souls of them who have been slain have entered into the rest of their God. This is college, campus, classic hits. I'm TcYbarra. We reading the book of Alma. We just read 57. God bless you. Hey, y'all have a good day, and see you in Ward. God bless you. I'm TcYbarra.